Love and greetings. I'm Paul Friedman, founder of the Marriage Foundation, and this is the second video in this series about divorce. And this is how many times should I try saving my marriage before I go for the divorce? And that's a very good question. Hi, welcome back. I'm Paul Friedman, founder of the Marriage Foundation, and here we are with the second in this series around divorce, the question of whether I should get a divorce or not. And this topic is, how many times should I try saving my marriage before I get a divorce? It's a great question, isn't it? And just to remind you, if you subscribe, then the other divorce-oriented videos will come up for you, and so if you find this to be useful, and I'm sure you will, then I suggest you click on the subscribe button. Now, I used to be a divorce mediator. In 2001, a couple asked me to help them save their marriage instead of follow through and bring all their papers to court and all that. And because their marriage was already considered dead by their marriage counselor, I thought, and they thought, have nothing to lose. And so I did a deep dive into marriage because I wanted them to be successful. I didn't want to just work out a few of the problems that they're having and negotiate sort of settlements within their marriages, which is what a lot of the marriage counselors did at that time in 2001. I wanted to give them more. I wanted to really understand marriage so I could do that. So I began with a question, and the question is, why do we get married in the first place? What is it that people want out of their marriage? And I asked so many people because I didn't know the answer. I surprised myself when I asked that question. At the time, I was divorced, and when that question came up in my mind, it was like, why didn't I ever ask that question myself? It's a logical, reasonable question to ask because we get married without direction. We get married without a goal. We get married without knowing what we're striving for. So I'm going to give you the short version. And marriage is no different than what we strive for individually. Every one of us, if you break it down, and I did this work, and you won't find this in Western psychological world, but if you think about it, if you dwell on this, you will agree with me. There's one thing that every single one of us strives for in our lives, and that is happiness. We just want to be happy, darn it. And the next question is, well, what makes us happy? Well, I'm not talking about getting an amazing car or getting that beautiful house you've always wanted, or getting your hair just so. I'm talking about real happiness because those are fleeting happiness producers. The material things are fleeting. And so I asked, well, what really makes us happy? And again, I asked people, why did you get married? Well, I wanted kids. I wanted to be with someone the rest of my days. I wanted this, I wanted that. Yes, but what underlies that? I want to be happy. Great. But what always makes you happy? What is unfailing? I stretched this out a little so you would have a chance to see if you could answer the question yourself. And the answer is there's only one thing that universally makes us happy. And when I say universally, I mean there's no person who it doesn't make happy, and that's the feeling of love. Isn't it so? And so it all sort of ties together. We get married to the person who we feel is going to make us happy. And because we're in love with them, we're not even thinking in terms of them making us happy. No, if you go back to the beginning of when you first met, you wanted to make them happy. But you forgot about that part, didn't you? And so that's part of why you're now in this position. But it is important to remember why you got married and what you didn't do. Because it's what you didn't do that brought you to this place of considering divorce. So you didn't cultivate your devotion for your soulmate. You didn't cultivate the harmony in your home. You didn't go out of your way to make them feel special every single day. And if you did, it was usually done from a defensive point of view because we don't learn how to open our hearts and love without someone loving us back. In fact, we think, well, they have to love us back. That's what marriage is all about. You love me, I'll love you. That's not how love works. What really makes love something we feel is when we give love. Now, I'm going to illustrate this. If you're a parent, you'll get it. When you walk into your kid's bedroom and you see them sleeping, those little angels, and I smile when I say that because we know that kids are not little angels all the time. But we see them sleeping, and what happens? Our heart just opens up. Now, maybe they're too big for that now, or you don't go into their room. But when they were little, actually, even if they're teenagers, you go in their room, you look upon their faces, and your heart just opens up. They're not doing anything. They're not loving you back. They're not giving you love. They're not initiating love. You're not doing anything, but your heart just opens up. That's what we call love. It's flowing through you. It's going to them because we're not capable of producing love. Now, we could cultivate devotion and love, and that's what we should be doing, but we don't. And so that love is kind of blocked off. It's not blocked off because we don't want it. Maybe we get mad, and so we block it off. Maybe we become disappointed, and so we block it off. And we're not even always blocking off our own love. Sometimes we're blocking off the love that they want to give to us. What is the point of all this? The point is that marriage, I discovered, is scientifically constructed. It's not this whimsical, out there kind of thing. Love is not this out there kind of thing. It's a very real thing. In fact, it's the only real thing there is. Love is real. Love is the essence of who we are as souls. We're soulmates. And so what happens is because we don't learn how to cultivate that love, we don't learn how to build upon that love and make our marriage bigger and bigger, not with a bigger house, not with a bigger car, but bigger and bigger love and connection. We don't learn it. And so even when we make an effort to start healing our marriage, when we see things are going awry, we don't know what to do. So we go to YouTube videos, listen to these people, and we read articles and we read what they have to say, and we start trying this and trying that, but none of them get to the bottom of it. The bottom of it is that if your marriage is not being built properly, it doesn't matter what you do. It won't work. I guess this is as good a time as any to tell you I've written 2 books. They're both valuable. One is Breaking the Cycle. One is Lessons for Happy Marriage. You could go to Amazon and check them out. But at this stage, you see, people who come to us at the Marriage Foundation, their marriages are in different stages. Every once in a while, we'll get a message, an email, because we have an Ask a Counselor function, and someone will write in and say, I don't know what to do. My father-in-law is not very good with the kids. How shall I handle it? It's easy peasy. They don't really even need to read one of my books. The counselor just gives them some advice. Happy to do so. And then we get people who are saying, not sure what to do. I caught my husband using porn, And well, that's not the end of the marriage. So we say, okay, we understand, and they'll give some suggestions to that wife. But when people come to us and they say, I'm thinking about a divorce, we've been struggling now for years, we've tried marriage counseling, I've tried this, I tried this program, nothing seems to be working. Well, you take the course that's online. We have an online course. If you're a man, it's one course. If you're a woman, it's another course. You do it individually, and that will transform your marriage. Why? Because it's scientifically based. It works with what marriage is truly all about. It's based on scientific principles that when you learn what they are and how to apply them, failure is frankly impossible. And so this time, when you quote unquote work on your marriage, which is kind of a misnomer, it will work. Why will it work? Because you're not working on your marriage. You're working on how you approach your marriage, how you approach your wife, how you approach your husband. And now you're learning how to do it correctly, which is marriage is designed to produce those two things I mentioned in the beginning, happiness and love. You cannot take those out of the equation. We as individuals crave happiness. We crave love. We need to learn how to create those in our marital environment. And you can do it. So again, be sure you subscribe so you're able to see the other videos in this series. And please don't be afraid to leave a comment. Don't be afraid to share this video. I'm so glad you stopped by. I'm Paul Friedman. I'm the founder of the Marriage Foundation. God bless you. And I want you to have the best marriage imaginable. And I'm going to back that up by saying you can do it when you know how. God bless you and take care.